My name's Melanie, and you're watching a Hire Me video where I convince you to give me a job. It's a crazy concept, I know, but stick with me and in mere minutes, you'll be hooked. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. I grew up as the middle of 5 kids, so I know a thing or two about playing Scrappy. I was fighting for attention then, and I'm still doing it to this day, hence the video. Growing up, everything was a competition, and well, I wasn't really good at anything, except for using hot glue, cardboard, steak knives, and duct tape to build tiny houses. But when I got into high school, I realized that I could beat my siblings at something. School. I could work as hard as I possibly can to get the best grades I possibly could for no reason other than the fact that I wanted to beat my siblings at something. So that's what I did. I did it for 4 whole years, graduated in the top 1% of my class, and then threw it all away to move to LA. I had just finished 13 consecutive years of going to school, so why would I immediately go back and do that to myself again, voluntarily? I wouldn't. I was going to move to LA and become a fashion designer. Psych! During my time in LA, I didn't become a fashion designer, but I did apply to Georgia Tech and tell myself, even if I got in, I wasn't going to go because that school is for nerds. It was mostly something I told myself because I never thought I could get into a school like that. But then, one day, after seeing Steve Carell and his wife, I opened my acceptance letter to Georgia Tech. Shit. Now I had to go. How could I possibly pass up an opportunity like that? I couldn't. So back to the East Coast I went, and I started school at Georgia Tech as a business major. I bet you thought the story was over, didn't you? Nope. I still had to discover what industrial design was. So I made my way to the coolest dressed kids on campus, and I found out that their major let them make cool stuff and be weird, and it let them use X-Acto knives and have their own desks. I had to try it out for myself. So I did just that. And I've never been in love or anything goofy like that, but this had to be the darn closest thing to being in love that I've ever felt. Over the next few years, like any real relationship, me and ID, well, in design, we had our ups and downs, strengthening our relationship to the point that it's at today. I'd say we're ready to grow, expand our horizons, and discover the potential we have elsewhere. With you. So hopefully you picked up on a few things throughout this story. Number 1, I've got a competitive drive that helps me work harder than anybody you know. Number 2, I like going out of my comfort zone and trying new things I've never done before, like moving 2,000 miles away from my family where I don't know anyone in the world. And, well, number 3, I'm not a nerd. Number 4, me and design, we're going steady and we're ready to move up. These are things that my resume and portfolio would never have been able to show you. Sure, they can tell you about my skills and they can tell you about my experience, but would they have been able to brag to you that I met Steve Carell? I don't think you could get that on a resume. So, hire me. Follow me. Go.
I said a hip hop, the hip it to the hip hop. You don't stop the rocker to the bang bang boogie. Say up jump the boogie to the rhythm of the boogie beat. Now what you hear is not a test. I'm rapping to the beat, and me, the groove, and my friends are gonna try to move your feet. You see, I am Wonder Mike, and I like to say hello to the black, to the white, the red, and the brown.